Welcome to the Trauma Survivorhood podcast. I'm your host, Sara Miley, an IFS-informed trauma recovery coach. This episode's mission is to diminish stigmas through my personal journey, to bring resources to the trauma community, and to feature services that I offer to support survivors around the globe. Enjoy. Welcome back to the Trauma Survivorhood podcast. I'm your host, Sara Miley. I am an IFS-informed trauma healing and lifestyle design coach with Full Circle Wellspring, and I'm so excited to bring you this episode 150 of the Trauma Survivorhood podcast. Today is August, the end of August of 2024, the end of the summer, and a bit of an end of an era. So I'm going to jump into some big life announcements for myself personally, as well as business for my coaching announcements as well. So let's go ahead and dive in. So first and foremost, this episode is going to be the last for a little while. I'm going to put Trauma Survivorhood podcast on. I'm calling it an indefinite pause. And what I mean by that is my vision for this podcast, my mission, my desire, and the joy of doing it has not ceased at all. So I can imagine that this podcast is going to come back full swing with amazing interviews from awesome guests from all over the world that I have loved getting to know, interviewing and connecting with, collaborating with, and building relationship with. And so I want to continue doing that. However, life is taking a bit of a swirly twirly happening right now. And so I am out of time. I'm out of space. I'm out of bandwidth. And so this episode is going to be the big pause that starts now. I might jump on audio only. I suppose maybe sometimes videos on the YouTube, but it's super easy with an app on your phone to record audio. So if in my next several months of shifting that's happening, I want to share some revelations or a little update about what's going on, I'm going to probably just upload them to the Buzzsprout home for the podcast. So if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you're good. Google any of the Pandora, any of the audios, you're good to go. If you are a subscriber here on YouTube, you might want to jump on and listen to the podcast. I will also post it on the Instagram and Facebook also if I do launch any other episodes. They'll kind of just be little quick snippets about what's happening, or maybe just a revelation that I've got going on, or something that I want to share with you about trauma or about the business or something. So I'm going to still kind of utilize it as a tool to get information and resources out there, because that's what I love to do, obviously. And so that's where we're at. So if we have some upcoming episodes, they won't be the interview style until I am settled and situated and I have bandwidth to get back to interviewing amazing guests. So that's the big news there. Other news, some personal, just life news in my own trauma healing journey, because I just love to keep you guys up to that. I think it's just super cool to kind of share our stories together. So I've continued on my beautiful journey with internal family systems. IFS still remains my favorite modality personally and professionally. I absolutely love guiding my clients. It is just the most powerful. And I have continued to do my own parts work, my own inner child healing, my own reparenting work inside of myself as well. And I have absolutely loved that. I actually had a really interesting, I've done hypnotherapy before, but I was able to jump into a hypnotherapy program that my insurance actually covered. It was gut-directed hypnotherapy for my GI conditions and my eating disorder stuff. And it was actually something that was provided with my personal GI. So that was actually really cool. I did a bunch of weeks of hypnotherapy, and that has made some shifts between my gut and my disordered eating stuff. And that's been really helpful. I've also continued on a bunch of new trainings. I'm still diving deep into the world of intentional living, in somatics, in furthering my IFS education. And so that's really cool. I'm taking some new trainings with a new organization. There's actually going to be some big business changes that are going to be happening in September and October. I won't actually fully upload all of that new stuff until November. And I'm just not at the place yet where I can really explain and discuss what's going on there, but working with some new organizations, some new affiliations. So I'm really, really excited. And some of the biggest news for me has been the ongoing use of psychedelic assisted therapy, which next to IFS has been super helpful for me. And so while I am still in the place that I'm in, I'm continuing on a ketamine journey with a ketamine assisted psychotherapy, which is awesome and has made some really big leaps and bounds for me. And then continuing on my microdosing journey. And there's many, many more journeys left to go. I really believe that the psychedelic assisted therapy, when there's a good, healthy foundation of therapeutics and modalities that have been used, and there's a lot of awareness awareness and mindfulness that's been used. I believe that psychedelics is really an up and coming big game changer for trauma survivors. So I will continue to share that. Obviously, I have to kind of be careful about how I share it. There has to be disclaimers whenever I do. Obviously, the use of psychedelics is not legal in all places, depends on what you're using and where you're at. Safety is important. Set and setting are dynamically important. There's a lot of hidden dangers. There's a lot of people that should not be using psychedelics. And then, of course, the actual therapeutic side of it comes because of integration. And so if you're not doing integrative work, then you are not actually doing psychedelic assisted therapy. So more on that later. However, that has altered a big shift in who I am and my purpose as I continue to drive forward as a trauma coach, right? And my passions as they're changing and ebbing and flowing and healing and growing and expanding. It has led me into a place where I am now moving forward in a lot of areas, spiritually and also physically. So at the beginning of November, I'm going to actually be hitting the road and doing some traveling, saying goodbye to my office as it looks now, my coaching space as it looks now, and traveling for a little while. All of my clients are coming with me, of course, even through time changes and all kinds of stuff. More on that because I'm not sure how long I'm going to be traveling or what I'm going to be doing, exactly where I'm going and what it's going to look like. But that's kind of where I'm at. The goal eventually, whether it's sooner rather than later or later rather than sooner, is to land in the Colorado area. And I really just feel a draw to head there. I feel there is a presence of spirituality, of seeking. And of course, the psychedelic assisted therapy world is huge in Colorado, right on the heels of what Oregon has done as far as legalizing clinics and creating actual spaces for psychedelic therapy. And that's where I'm headed. So I don't know when I'm going to get there. I don't know if it'll be right in November or if it'll be 6-8 months from then. I'm not really sure, but that's kind of where my goal is going to be, to settle there and continue on in my own personal journey. Many of you who know me know that I'm actually just a really big nomad, and I would be great as a world traveling digital nomad. But I do think that there's going to be some time spent in Colorado. And I think that that's eventually, maybe in the next 5-10 years, leading more into psychedelic assisted facilitation that I can do as a trauma trained coach. And that takes a lot of schooling. It takes a lot to get that certification. And then from there to be able to work in the clinics that are still just kind of popping themselves up in Colorado as they move through the legal red tape that happens, the political red tape that happens there. So that's the exciting part. That's really my big personal updates. For business, let's dive into a couple of important things. So the personalized trauma healing system that I launched last September, almost exactly a year ago, was launched. I cannot believe a year has gone by. I'm so excited to continue to share curated lifestyle design, bringing regulation and expansion of your window of capacity for trauma survivors. It is the heart and soul of what I do. I'm building it now, and with the clients that I'm working with, that's why I'm now calling myself a trauma healing and lifestyle design coach for trauma survivors. This has allowed me to really help my clients build on a foundation, expand that window of capacity, and to continue moving forward, thriving instead of just being stuck in that survival mode all the time. And so I'm really excited to share that the personalized trauma healing system has been able to pull up some funds for some scholarships. I know that was something that we chatted about at the beginning when I launched it, that there would be eventually some scholarships available. Those are now available. And I'm so excited to be able to offer a little bit of discount for those, because it is a really big time commitment and financial commitment, and they are just partial scholarships. But if you are interested and you have been waiting to see scholarships available, they are available now. So please reach out. Of course, I always offer sliding scale and needs-based, income-based help for all of my other trauma healing packages, and just even my one-off sessions, I do that. So if you have a need and you do want to move forward and get started, now is a great time. I'm only taking a handful of new clients coming into this the last quarter of 2024, and probably the first quarter of 2025. That sounds wild to say, 2025. I'm only going to take a couple of more clients for each of those because of the traveling and the resettling situation. And I have a beautiful array of clients right now that I am thoroughly enjoying helping and walking through. And I want availability to be as open for my current clients as for my new clients. So I'm going to kind of cap off a couple of new clients for each of the next new quarters. So if you are interested, remember, I do the 30-minute free discovery call. It is no obligation. We can just sit down, see what you're looking for, kind of what your trauma history is. And then even if I'm not the right choice to work with you, I will definitely resource you. You might not even be ready for coaching. You might not be ready to start moving into goals. Moving into collaboration and homework and moving forward into that realm. You might be more looking for therapy. You might even be at a place with some mental illness where you are needing some psychiatric care and help. And I will definitely resource you and get you some places. You might even just want some book recommendations or some modality recommendations. And I certainly have those. Recommendations, resources, and referrals is the name of my game. So you can utilize a 30-minute discovery call and we can sit down and we can chat more about that. So keep tabs on my website, fullcirclewellspring.com. Over the next couple of months, there's going to be some big changes coming to that with some of the organizations and the affiliations that I have and certifications that I'm working on. And so there's going to be a bit of changes to that. And if you are my current client, there's also going to be some changes to paperwork coming soon. And there's going to be some updates and upgrades. So just stay tuned for that. That's about all I can say about that right now. Probably the best way to stay on top of where I am, what I'm doing, what's going on. Of course, you're subscribed here, you're listening here, right? We definitely are also going to be updating on the Instagram and the Facebook. And that is the Instagram is at Coach Sara Miley, Coach SARA MILEY. That's where I'm going to be posting tons of stuff. I'm going to also start doing some live Instagrams so that I can jump on and answer some questions. I'm going to continue to be doing some contests. I had a contest in June, in July, and in August that was really successful and helpful for people who were interested in either trying coaching or trying IFS. And so I'm pleased to be able to keep bringing little contests and little things for you guys to get involved in. So stay up on at least the Instagram at Coach Sara Miley. That's going to be the big one where I'm going to be most active in posting on my stories. I have a Twitter, I have a LinkedIn, but I am going solo again. I had a virtual assistant for about 8 months who was kind of on top of all that. And I'm not great with all the socials. So I've got the Instagram on my phone. I've learned how to use it. I don't quite know how to do the YouTube shorts and the TikToks and all that kind of stuff. But on Instagram, I'm going to be really diving in and really engaging with people there and doing the stories and posting where I am and posting my location and little pictures and little insights that I'm having, especially along when my mind is open and expanded and I'm traveling. Really cool stuff comes to me. And I don't mean that in like a braggy way, but I really have a lot of mental expansion when I'm on the road. So if all of my plans plan out in November, I'm headed out onto the road for a long term. It's going to kind of be really cool because I'm going to just kind of like, dump all this cool information and resources onto everyone on the socials. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I also have been on several more shows. So if you haven't checked out my media page on fullcirclewellspring.com, definitely check that out. I've been back again. Thank you so much, Guy McPherson, for having me back on the Trauma Therapist podcast, which was the podcast that changed my life 4 years ago and got me into coaching. So thank you for doing that. And he had me back on his show exactly 13 months from the first airing there. And I've been on a handful of other people's podcasts and shows. Love collaborating and I love speaking and teaching. So if you are looking to do any collaborations or you'd like to have me on your show, there's a link up at the top of the media page as well about how to get in contact with me and discuss that. So I'm definitely open to that while I'm on the road for sure. Even though this is hard to keep up on, I definitely can pop in and drop in, a half an hour interview. It's all of the post-production and the stuff, guys, that goes into doing the podcast that it's like, that's what I don't have the brain space and the bandwidth for right now. So definitely keep up on the media page and contact me if you'd like to have me on your show. So ending here, I just want to share, I've decided since this is episode 150. I've done 150 podcast episodes in 2.5 years, and it has been a joy and a pleasure. And I know it's not totally done, even if it's on its little indefinite pause, but I am excited to offer $150 off of every single package, whether it's the personalized trauma healing system package, any of the IFS 60-minute, 90-minute, 6-session, 12-session. I have a lot of packages to offer that already save a lot of money, and I'm going to offer $150 off of every single one of my packages. So if you are looking to get started, definitely jump on, do that 30-minute discovery call, grab one of those. And if you do want to move forward, the packages in September and October, as long as you purchase them before October 31st, one per person, then you will be able to use it, because the package is for sessions, right? So you can use your sessions. It just has to be purchased before October 31st. So after the discovery call, if we want to move forward with each other, I'm going to get you the link for the intake. Once the intake is done, I'll send you that coupon and you'll be able to purchase your package and get $150 off. And that's just my gift to you. And I'm really, really excited. And that's for current clients and new clients that could be coming in. So current clients, listen up. $150 off of all y'all's packages too. Even if you're in a current package, grab another one right now and I'll send you that code to get the discount price off of there. Just shoot me an email if you're listening. So when I'm in a less transient place, I'm hoping to get back someday to interviews. Like I said, it has been an honor for me to hear people's stories, to hear their journeys, to hear what they've been through and where they have gone. It has been amazing to witness who they have become on the other side of their trauma. And I'm part of that I'm part of, when I say that, I'm saying that also to myself. It's so amazing for me to see who I've become and who I'm continuing to become on the other side of where I was. And so I love that message, that healing is so possible no matter where you've been. It is always available to you. And I will say that until the day I die. I'm probably going to put it on my tombstone. Healing is available and possible. Now, that means you have to do the steps to get yourself there. That's okay. You can take your time. It takes a little bit of mindfulness and awareness to even realize what happened to you, or the coping skills that maybe are no longer serving you, that have maybe become unhealthy. That takes awareness. That takes time, guys. And that's okay. A big step would be just moving forward. Just reach out. You can even just email me. You don't even have to do a consult. You can just send an email to Sara, Sara, no H, at fullcirclewellspring.com. Send me an email. Let me know, hey, I need some resources. I'm not ready to do coaching with you, but is there a book? Here's what I've been through. Just a little snippet, a paragraph, or couple sentences is fine. And just let me know. And I might have a book recommendation. I might have a podcast episode that I can share with you of maybe someone who's been on your journey similar. I could give you some referrals. I can look up some information in your state. Let me know your location. Even if you're in another country, I am more than happy to do that due diligence. I'm just really good at that kind of stuff. So I would love to be able to resource you and get you some referrals and recommendations, even if you don't want to work with me. So keep listening, keep subscribing. Check out the Instagram. Make sure that you're following there. Subscribe to the podcast, even if you're on the YouTube right now watching this, and continue to move a little bit forward every single day, because it does get better. It doesn't necessarily end, but it always gets a little better. This is a journey, not a destination. So thank you for sharing my trauma healing journey with you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of it. Thank you for accepting me and loving me where I am right now, who I am. And thank you for allowing me into your space to be part of your healing journey. And I hope that this podcast has been inspirational to you. I hope it has reminded you that healing is possible. I hope that you've gotten some amazing resources from all of my amazing guests. And if there's any way that I can support you or serve you and encourage you in your healing journey, reach out. FullCircleWellspring.com has everything you need to follow all the socials, to email, to schedule a consult, whatever you feel. Remember that there's a free assessment on the website as well under the personalized trauma healing system. There's a page on there for that. And then also, when you first go to FullCircleWellspring.com, I would invite all of you to, down the right hand bottom, there's a little box. Click on that. You're going to be able to download a free, pretty comprehensive guide to nervous system regulation. It explains about the autonomic nervous system, what it is. I know we've talked a lot about that, especially with the PTHS, but it has so many tips and techniques and little tricks and ways that you can actually find more regulation in your nervous system, how to re-regulate or self-regulate when you do get dysregulated. And it's just a great resource to have on hand. And that is my free gift to you. So thank you so much again for sharing this journey with me. And I will see you on the flip side. Take care. Thank you for listening to or watching this episode of the Trauma Survivorhood podcast. Please subscribe, like, share, and follow. For any information that was discussed in this podcast episode, check out the show notes below. Until next time, be well.